Is there anything that we could use to detect the disease very, very early, even 10 years before it even sets? Can we correct that by simple nutrition itself? Buckspeaks is South Asia's first gut microbiome test package. Gives three distinct features. One is a gut health score. So it tells you how good or bad a person's gut is. The second one is we provide risk indication for about 16 diseases. And thirdly, we provide nutritional and probiotic recommendations, especially when it comes to women's health. We see a strong correlation between the gut microbiome and any kind of hormone related problems. It's actually pretty simple. One just follow your grandmother's eating habits. I mean, and that'll take care of most of the problems. But we need to eat as much diverse vegetables and fruits as possible.
Hi all, welcome to Miara's interview series. I'm Gayatri Muthukrishnan, and today with us we have Mr. Kumar Shankaran. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Lucin Rich Bio Private Limited. He's a business leader with a professional experience of more than 15 years in healthcare research and delivery. In his current role, he is spearheading the growth and innovation in the microbiome domain for the whole Asian market. He's passionate about driving the paradigm shift from sick care to healthcare, which really resonates with us in Miara. Welcome, Mr. Kumar. Let me straight away start with what is the gut microbiome and why should we care about it?
Hi, Gayatri. Thank you for inviting me on this platform. It's nice to see the different things that Miara is doing, and I'm glad to be associated with it in some form. The gut microbiome is basically we're looking at all the microbes that are residing in one's gut, and looking at how that is influencing our health and well-being. It is now quite well established that there are probably more bacterial cells in our gut than all the human cells put together in our body. And hence it has a huge impact on our day-to-day life, our health, our well-being, the way we think, disease progression, you name it, it has an influence on that. So in that aspect, the gut microbiome is a very crucial new organ that has been discovered.
That's interesting. And so how did you decide to work in this area?
So I'm from the drug discovery background. Most of my career, I've been trying to discover new molecules to combat the disease. So been very, very close, interacting with healthcare practitioners, with scientists, trying to come up with ways to improve, every individual's health. And then, kind of realized that everything is more, let the disease come and then we kind of cure it. And there wasn't too much out there where, is there anything that we could use to detect the disease very, very early, even 10 years before it even sets? Can we correct that by simple nutrition itself? We were looking at human genetics, we were looking at the microbiome, and given the role and importance of microbiome, I thought this was a great tool to start with. Back in 2013, I mean, I called it pseudoscience. I mean, I said, I didn't have too much of belief in it, till I started experimenting on myself and then realized it was like a great tool to improve one's health.
Interesting. So what is Buckspeaks as a product that you have developed?
Buckspeaks is South Asia's first gut microbiome test package. So it profiles an individual's gut microbiome, and gives three distinct features. One is a gut health score. So it tells you how good or bad a person's gut is, and how imbalanced the microorganisms are there in the gut. The second one is we provide Buckspeaks provides risk indication for about 16 diseases. Basically, what it says is if you continue in your current lifestyle and eating habits, the chances of you getting a particular disease is either low, medium, or high.
Okay.
And thirdly, we provide nutritional and probiotic recommendations to correct the imbalance that is there in the gut.
Are there other gut microbiome tests to begin with, and how is it different, the Buckspeaks test?
In India, I think we've been the only company doing this for the longest time. There are, I think, one or two new companies that have now come into the market, but I don't know if they've launched their product as yet. When you look at it globally, the way Buckspeak stands out is we're more India and South Asia centric. So we're looking at the Indian microbiome data. We're looking at Indian foods and seeing how that is interacting with the microbiome. And we're right now sitting on the largest Indian microbiome data set. So, so that helps us give that much more accuracy and we get much better results with the Indian population.
Yeah, I think that's really important because probably the gut microbiome really depends on your local environment and culture and things. So you cannot necessarily adapt any information from the West or anywhere else to the local food diet. That's very interesting. So who should get this test done?
I know ideally everybody should get the test done. I mean, it has. I would put it in the early health package. I mean, that's at least doing it once a year is good for every individual. But anybody who's suffering from any kind of chronic diseases or beginning to see symptoms of any kind of chronic diseases, like diabetes, obesity, hormone dysregulation like PCOS. The gut-brain axis is very, very strong. So even people with anxiety, depression. So anyone seeing symptoms in it or are chronically suffering from this should definitely get the test done.
Okay, that's interesting. So the test gives a score on how good what level of the bacteria are there in your, or the organism's microbiome is there in your gut, right? So it just gives a score?
So we've kind of simplified the science to a level that we can give a numerical number. The science is very, very strong, but we've made it easier for the user by giving it a number. Basically, what that says is the thumb rule is the less diverse a person's gut is. So if the bacterial species come down, then the chances of that person having problem, with health is much more. Good diversity, having good number of species in the gut is very, very important. This way, you're not allowing one or two species of bacteria dominate the gut. You never want that to happen. Bacteria is not the only organism that is there in the gut. You have a lot of virus, you have a lot of fungus, which plays an important role. So we're looking at how this distribution is and how diverse this distribution is, and broken it down to a score.
Okay, that's interesting. And the next question is there anything different in the a male gut microbiome versus a female gut microbiome, and are you addressing it in any way?
So right now it's one report that is going out to both male and female, but within the next quarter we'll have two kinds of reports
Okay.
going out addressing specific problems. Especially when it comes to women's health, we see a strong correlation between the gut microbiome and any kind of hormone-related
Okay.
problems with health. Whether it is PCOS, PCOD, any other kind of hormone dysregulation,
Okay.
and there's a strong gut microbiome influence to it. So
Okay.
we will soon start having gender specific reports going out.
That would be great. So you have another product called the Rich Biome. Can you explain what this Rich Biome is?
So what we did was after about collecting thousands of Indian microbiome data, we looked at what are the probiotics that are consistently missing in the Indian gut, which are supposed to be there, but it's not there. And we've put together about 7 species and one prebiotic, and we call it the Rich Biome Indus. So this is an India-specific probiotic. It's meant for the Indian population and also the Indian diaspora out there.
Yeah.
It's something that we've consistently seen missing in the Indian gut.
Okay, that's really nice to know, because I think there are lots of probiotics out there, but nothing specific for the Indian gut so far. So finally, can you give some general tips on how one can take care of the gut microbiome of the
I mean, it's actually pretty simple. One just follow your grandmother's eating habits. I mean, and that'll take care of most of the problems. But there are certain tribes in Africa which they have an excellent gut microbiome diversity, and they almost never have any chronic or lifestyle-based disease. They've never heard of heart attacks or diabetes or obesity and all of that.
Okay.
And what has now been discovered is the key to their health is their diverse eating habits. So they have more than about 600 varieties of fruits, vegetables, cereal, meat over the entire year. They're very, very seasonal about what they eat. Because they're tribals, I mean, they only eat what grows at that point of time. So I think we need to follow a similar strategy that we need to eat as much diverse vegetables and fruits as possible. Most of us tend to eat one or two or a handful of different variety of vegetables and not go beyond that. All of us think, broccoli is, it's a green vegetable, it's good for you. And we, binge on broccoli and keep eating that and not eating variety of vegetables. So that's one thing, increase the variety in the kind of food that you're eating, that will improve it. And secondly, try and get as much of fermented food as possible into your system. All cultures around the world have some kind of fermented food that's been there in their native diet. In India, curds is very, very prominent. There's also fermented rice, kanji, which is also very prominent in India. And I think those habits have gone missing, or we are refrigerating a fermented food and not, killing all the microorganisms that are there. So having fermented food will definitely help.
That's really good. And one final question. So for Lucent Rich Bio, what is your next? How are you going forward? What do you see yourself doing in 5 years? If I may ask.
Sure. I mean, for two things. I mean, we want to get this test out to every individual possible. We're increasing the awareness of the role of the microbiome. India is a very traditionally through Ayurveda and naturopathy, I think there's every Indian knows the importance of the gut. Now there is new science which can tell you how your gut is and how to improve it. So we want to get that message out, and we want to help as many individuals as possible. Using Buckspeaks. And for chronic disease individuals, we're looking at through the microbiome developing diagnostic products which can detect diseases very, very early.
Okay.
Whether it is colorectal cancer, whether it is something like diabetes, can we catch it about few years before it even comes out in a blood report? So that is what from a research point of view, that is what we're interested in doing.
Okay, nice to know, and best wishes that you can figure this out for all of us.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.